There's a way to make an even bigger impact in the world that is coming from your language that you may not be aware of, that I'm going to share with you right now, right? I'm assuming if you're watching this video, most likely you have an intention of making a difference, right? Changing the world. And in fact, making as big of a difference as you can, right? And a common language would be, I'm going to leave a legacy, right? And before I get into the thing, I'll talk about something else, which is leaving a legacy. Guess what? It's still our ego wanting to be important, right? Because I always remind people that our every thought, the paradox is our every thought, every moment is changing all of reality in the entire universe. And the paradox of that is our ego thinks we need to make a really big difference so we're remembered, so that we think our life is meaningful, right? Now back to the topic. So what is the language? Like, what is the thinking process that actually determines how much of a difference that we make moment to moment, right? When we brush our teeth, when we put on pants, when we get maybe a cup of coffee, not just our work, right? Not just what I call our contribution, but our everyday activity. What's the language that gets us to automatically make a bigger impact? And here it is. Notice how you're speaking to yourself, right? Because the law of mentalism in Hermetic states that our words, right, our thoughts dictates and affects and influences and projects all of reality. And so the language, right, we all begin with is, what do I want? Right? And so we go through a phase of our life trying to be me, to figure out who I am. And so the things that we tend to decide, or the context in which we make our decision and decisions, is from, what do I want? Who am I? Right? However, many of you might have realized that that phase of life, you're now transitioning out of that phase into the second of three phases. And the second phase is, what do we want? Right? And that could be we, could be your family, it could be the community, it could be, the business that you run, right? So the team, everyone, right? It's someone else besides you, basically, right? We. And so we go through that phase and we're in that, sort of we mentality. But then there's a last phase, which is, what does all want? Right? And so this is very interesting. If you think about it, if you decide you want coffee, I want coffee, you can just go and make a cup of coffee. We want coffee. You would ask other people, do you want coffee? And you consider making them coffee. What does all want coffee, right? From an all perspective, what does that act look like? Well, maybe you, as you're making coffee, you're feeling into all of existence, right? And expressing gratitude, the entire industry and the entire thought of coffee, because your thoughts are literally affecting all of reality. Right, so you're sending maybe gratitude to coffee, the coffee makers, the people that drink coffee. You feel this deep bond, right, with other coffee drinkers, right? And so that's the difference. Same cup of coffee, right? Your relationship to it and the act is going to be different, and therefore you're going to create a different reality. So you can apply that to every moment of your life, and every decision and every action. Are you coming from a I, we, or all perspective? And I believe that as we transition into the next age, the golden age, the Aquarius age, many names for it, that we will naturally evolve towards all, right? Many of us already have transitioned from I to we, and the really next phase is the all phase.